Hey parents, babies are developing rapidly during those first weeks and months after birth, and as parents, we want to help them with their development as much as possible. In this video, I'm sharing 5 common things parents do or use that actually takes away from their baby's development. I'm Bridget and I'm a childbirth educator, a birth doula, and a mama who is always on the hunt for evidence-based ways to birth and raise babies. If you're new here and want more information on how to be empowered in your parenthood, make sure you subscribe to this channel and then hit the little bell so you don't miss any future videos. So let's jump right in. The first thing is forward-facing baby wearing, or incorrect baby wearing in general. Wearing your baby forward-facing leaves their legs unsupported, so they're dangling, they're straight down, and they're close together. All things we actually want the opposite of. Babies are born with very immature hips, and holding them improperly for long periods of time can cause hip dysplasia, which is when the hip socket doesn't develop the right way and won't fully cover the ball part of the thigh bone, which can lead to dislocation. Plus, forward facing also puts a lot of pressure on babies' weak spines. So for at least the first 6 months of life, you really want to wear your infant facing in towards you, and when they're facing in, make sure that their legs are in an M shape with their knees slightly elevated above their hips and their spine in a straight neutral position. Baby wearing the correct way is one of the best ways to keep baby close to you, respond to their needs, and help them get sleep while you're able to get all the things done as well. My favorite wrap carriers are Solly Baby Wraps, which I have linked down below, and Moby Wraps. Baby wearing might feel intimidating at first, but when you learn how to do it, it can be the best thing, and it is one of the many things that I walk you through in my postpartum course that you can check out in the description below. The second thing is developmentally inappropriate equipment or baby gear. When babies are showing signs of being ready to sit up on their own, it's good to help them practice, but we want to be careful of what seats we use as our babies are learning to master this new skill. A lot of infant seats out there are lowered in the back where baby's bottom sits, which actually tilts the pelvis backward, causing slouching and poor core engagement. Plus, the leg holes in some seats push baby's legs closer together, which isn't the best for their immature and developing hip joints. I first used a Bumbo with our daughters until I was made aware of a better alternative, the Upseat. It's designed under the guidance of physical therapists and promotes better posture and core stability because of the way that the seat rotates the pelvis forward, and the wide section between the legs helps encourage a wide stance while sitting, and the open leg holes encourage a free range of motion. When we switched our daughter out of the Bumbo and into the Upseat, she was noticeably more comfortable. She has more freedom of motion and control over her own body. So more parents need to know about the Upseat, and I've linked it down below along with some videos that help explain it a bit more, and I can't recommend it enough, so go check it out. Otherwise, just helping your baby sit on their own on the bed or the carpet so that if they do fall back or to the side, they don't knock their head, and it's going to help them meet those milestones, strengthen their core, and help develop those hip joints. The third is using jumpers, activity centers, or walkers too early or too much. The fabric seats in the jumpers or activity centers don't provide proper support for baby's spine and hips, which are immature and still developing, like I mentioned earlier. Walkers that babies sit in that have wheels to help them sort of scoot around don't actually help them learn to walk. They do the same to the spine and hips as the jumpers do, and they aren't recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics due to injuries that are associated with them. And the walkers that babies stand and push aren't necessarily the best until your baby already knows how to walk, because if used prematurely, babies might be doing a skill that their muscles, joints, and bones aren't necessarily ready for yet. Plus, interestingly enough, some research actually suggests that walkers can eliminate the desire to walk instead of helping young ones develop that motor skill. You don't have to nix those items altogether, you just want to limit them to about 15 minutes 2 to 3 times a day. For optimal development, having baby on the ground, doing tummy time, able to roll around, crawl about as they are engaging in their environment is what is best for their development. And a quick plug for my favorite developmentally appropriate learning toys is Lovevery. Their playmat is a great place to start with your baby to help them begin interacting with their environment with items that are actually helping their body and brain to grow. I've linked their playmat and play kits in the description below. The fourth thing that most of us parents use with our babies, which we want to avoid using too much of, is baby mittens. Pretty unassuming. Babies have these teeny tiny nails that grow rapidly and are basically uncuttable, which just makes for the perfect storm. So to keep babies from scratching themselves, we put mittens on them. But babies interact with the world so much through their hands. They provide sensory input, they can help them calm down, they help transfer bacteria from their own and their parents' bodies into their mouths that actually helps their microbiome to grow, which is important for overall physical health. They help with finding the breast and so much more. So they are really, really important, and putting mittens on them really limits how babies can use them. Now that doesn't mean you can't use mittens ever, you just want to avoid having your baby wear them the majority of the time. And some tips on those sharp nails: don't worry so much about cutting them, just try a nail file instead. It makes it a lot easier. Or if you do want or need to cut them, do it while baby is sleeping, or have your partner do it while you're nursing your baby. And the fifth thing is having your baby wear shoes. Like their hands, the feet are an important way for babies to experience the world around them. Wearing shoes impacts the way a baby learns to use the bones and muscles in their feet that help them learn to roll over, crawl, and then obviously eventually walk. Now, obviously, when they're babies, they don't need shoes, certainly not hard-soled shoes, but even when they begin walking, it's actually good to allow your baby to walk barefoot where it's safe to help them better use their feet. When shoes are necessary, you want to avoid tight shoes with thick and hard soles that keep their foot straight and kind of immobile, and instead put them in wide, flexible, soft-soled shoes like moccasins. Like the mittens, it's not like a few times wearing shoes is going to make a significant impact, but it might be the best for the majority of the time to have your baby shoeless. A lot of times when it comes to our baby's development, less is more. Simply getting on the ground with your baby and interacting with them, letting them engage with their environment with their hands, their feet, their ears, mouth, and eyes goes a long way. But for those moments that you do need some entertainment or a place for them to be out of your arms, I love Lovevery and Upseat because they are actually designed to help with your baby's skill and physical development. So that's all I have for you in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, parents.